For coming this morning. I'm joined here by Mayor Pernaruski to give you some updated information about some investigations that are going on in the city. I'm going to turn over the mic to the mayor.
Thank you. And I'll let the chief get into the details of what they did to make the arrest and all of that. But I just want to take a moment to commend the chief and his staff and the police officers in Waterbury for their successful investigation and solving this matter and getting the perpetrator so quickly. I think they do a great job here, and I want to just make sure that we commend them for that. I think, as the chief is going to explain to you in a few minutes, the history of all of this is just underlies the work that we need to do to make sure that we get the laws on the books so that we can keep the recidivists off the street. These folks who continue to commit crimes over and over again are really what are driving the crime statistics here in Waterbury, I think, across the state, and we need to work very hard on that. It also reiterates somewhat the work that we need to do, and that we've just come back from a crime reduction summit, and there's a lot of work that we can do, and we're going to be starting to do in the new year to try to address this at the very beginning and keep people from getting into this in the first place, and I'm looking forward to being able to do all of that. But the police continue to do a good job in Waterbury, and we're very proud of them. And with that, Chief, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We wanted to give you an update on the shooting that occurred at the Brass Mills Center on December 8th of 2023. We had a report of a disturbance at the food court at the Brass Mills Center on that particular day. Officers arrived on scene. There was a private duty officer that was working in the mall. They identified a 17-year-old male to have been shot in the chest and the torso area. That party was provided medical treatment and transported to a local hospital where he recovered from those wounds. The Criminal Investigation Bureau responded to the mall. An investigation ensued, and throughout the course of that investigation, we identified 19-year-old Marcos Gonzalez Jr. As a suspect. We were able to obtain an arrest warrant for him, charging him with assault first degree, reckless endangerment first degree, carrying a pistol without a permit, criminal possession of a pistol, criminal possession of a firearm and ammunition, illegal discharge of a firearm, and illegal transfer, sale, or purchase of a firearm. He's currently being held on a $1.5 million bond, and he's pending an arraignment in court here in Waterbury today. We do expect to make additional arrests in this particular case as the investigation continues. We were able to recover the firearm that was used in this particular case. Gonzalez was cooperative with investigators last night. We were able to identify a basic location of where the firearm was dumped after the shooting. We utilized Canine Bane. It's a Waterbury Police Canine unit that is certified in firearms detection. Dog was able to find the gun on the grassy area on I-84 westbound close to the mall area. So we've got good evidence in this case. We've got some good witnesses. We were able to develop a lot of information through technology, and we're looking forward to helping our state's attorney through the adjudication process of this case. Any questions on the Brass Mall shooting?
What led up to the fight and shooting?
So it is a personal conflict. We do believe that it does involve a dispute over a girlfriend, but we continue to research that and investigate that component of the case.
Can you talk a little bit about Marcos Gonzalez Jr.'s history? Because I know you guys mentioned recidivism.
Right. So he is a convicted felon. He has some larceny charges that are connected with automobile theft. He's 19 years old, so he's only been an adult for a short period of time. He is very familiar to us here at the Waterbury Police Department as a juvenile offender.
You said other arrests were coming. Do you consider him the shooter, or are you still looking for the actual shooter?
He is the shooter. He is the shooter. Yep.
What are those other arrests in your?
So this dispute involved a pretty significant fight that occurred prior to the shooting, and we anticipate arrests for that component of this incident. Okay?
How many people were in the fight?
Numerous.
Like a dozen or?
Numerous.
You said,
Several would be two, numerous would be more than two. That's my definition of it.
you said the handgun was found right along 84. Was this somewhere that, you know, a civilian kid, something could have found it as well?
So absolutely, that's a great follow-up question. You know, we were really grateful that we were able to recover this handgun. It was out in a public area, in a public roadway, close proximity to the mall. Could have been found by anyone, really, and we're grateful to get that handgun into our possession and off the streets.
Do you have any history of that handgun particularly? Like, was it
So,
stolen or-
so that handgun is going through ballistic forensics right now. It has been test fired. It's been entered in the NIBIN system. It'll be e-traced. We won't get those results back for probably another day or so.
With no serial numbers sanded off or anything like that? Or
I don't have the answer to that. Hey, Mike, serial numbers on that gun?
Yes.
Yeah, it was serialized, yes. We're good?
Shot in the torso, how many times? How many shots?
2 shots.
Is he out of the hospital now?
Out of the hospital, yes.
Any history with the victim?
Yes,
Police history?
yes.
Can you say what it is?
It's just 17-year-old juvenile. Yeah, familiar to us. Okay? All right, so I want to give you an update on some other investigations that are occurring here in the city. We made a second arrest, with some great reporting on that. In this morning's paper, in the Joseph Zavala homicide, we've arrested Nigel Robinson. He is a 19-year-old convicted felon. You know, I felt it important to talk about this a little bit today because this is what we've been talking about for several months. This is what we talked about leading up to the last legislative session when we worked with CCM and the big city mayors to ask for, you know, some enhanced gun crime laws. You know, Nigel has pending court case for a felony gun charge from February of this year. Prior to that, he was arrested and had a felony conviction for carrying a pistol without a permit. He is out and was at that time out on probation, and now he's charged with homicide, conspiracy to commit murder, reckless endangerment, and various firearm offenses. He's currently in custody with the Department of Corrections on a $3 million bond. We do expect additional arrests in this particular case, but this is important for me to talk about today to you all because, you know, here we have a convicted felon. He's got prior incarceration and prior probation. You know, he's got prior gun charges, and he's back out on the street and involved in the killing of a very young 18-year-old man here in Waterbury. You know, the legislation session's coming back up again. You know, there were some things that legislators, in my opinion, overlooked. Our Chief State's Attorney, Pat Griffin, provided some great information and some great testimony about, you know, some of the laws that are on the books and some of the sentencing that could enhance our ability to provide services and control some of these situations with these repeat gun crime offenders. And, you know, I hope that that's something that we can take up again, you know, as we move into this next legislative session.
Can you say a little bit more about what led up to the shooting in this particular case?
This, again, was a targeted incident. You know, it was gang-related. It's still under investigation. The details of the shooting and the reason it did occur are still unfolding as we speak, but when we can provide them, we will.
Was Zavala the intended target? Because the warrant sounds like someone else in the car had a beat with some of the shooters.
I don't think there was just one person that had conflict with another person. The groups had conflict with each other. Zavala was an intended target, yes.
Was he from Hartford or from Waterbury?
Zavala?
Zavala.
Zavala was from Waterbury, but had some connections to Hartford. Okay, and Nigel came into our attention not that long ago. He was a victim of a shooting that occurred here December 13th. I'm sure you all remember the rollover crash at 68 Delford Avenue. There were 2 occupants in that car. That car was shot 19 times. Again, this was a targeted incident. We believe and we know that it is gang-related. Robinson was one of the victim occupants in that car. He's currently hospitalized and being treated for multiple gunshot wounds that occurred during that incident. You know, and again, feeling that this is important to bring to light and attention, you know, the kind of mayhem that is created by a very small group of individuals that continue to be released back into our communities without the proper services, without the proper support. You know, this is financially thousands of dollars in first responder costs. It puts our community at risk. I mean, you've got multiple bullets that are being fired in residential areas, and, you know, it really puts people at risk and makes me as a police chief, and I'm sure the mayor, uneasy as far as these situations are concerned. So we just want to bring it to light and make sure that, you know, folks know that we're doing a good job. As the mayor said, you know, we've got some great plans on tap to try to prevent some crime, and more importantly, prevent violence and get services out into the community prior to incidents like this occurring in the very near future.
Was the other person in that car also a suspect in the Zavala shooting?
At this time, no. Any other questions? Thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the only way out. Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, we can go this way. John, are we locked out? We're locked.